government green take, you know, this is more ground floor experience that we had, quite a bit on the local level. But just it's probably the same story in every state and city across the country. I think that there just needs to be more education to these local agencies at the planning and engineering level, and you know, we burn so much of our time educating these people to get to our permit process. And the big thing for us with our technology is apparently when you submit everything to the city, everything's put in jeopardy. We had competitors come in and were able to look at all our designs that showed some of our proprietary technology, and that was incredible to us, and it had confidential all over it, and apparently there's no protection for that when you submit. And meanwhile, the planning departments are the ones requiring us to do these extensive fire data reports and other diagrams showing every little nut and bolt basically of our process, but it was not protected at all. Developing a roadmap kind of alluded to that. I mean, without them being educated, they're not going to be able to help us very much, so that's kind of an important roadblock that needs to be helped out. Big thing for us is there was a lot of complacency with our local agencies and lack of support. We did some grant submissions and reached out to many government types and really didn't get much support. That we thought everyone was excited about biofuels, and here we are, this little company right in their backyard could start fueling city fleets and didn't really get much support. Getting to some bigger issues on a federal level, underground tank storage for biodiesel is possibly a catastrophic problem right now. They're not allowing biodiesel more than 20% in underground storage tanks, and it's some sort of loophole with the UL listing of the tanks where they have never been certified for biodiesel. And it's just kind of a ridiculous thing that needs to be sorted out and expedited, because like I said, in San Diego there's one place that you can get biodiesel and it's only E20, which is 20% biodiesel. And if we can get more into the system and loosen up the storage regulations, that's one big issue for the gas stations, because that means they can just plug it in and go. They don't have to worry about putting in new sophisticated equipment or storage solutions. Government funding for us, this is an experience we had. We submitted for a grant on the state level, and unfortunately we were the highest placing company that did not get the grant. And we went in, got our scores, special meeting, and turns out that one of the scores incorrectly interpreted our solicitation, and if they hadn't, we would have been in the eligibility status and funding wouldn't be an issue today. So basically, they said to us the only way that we could challenge that is to sue them, and that seems like a weird, disturbing process to me. So we did not go down that path, but I think it needs to be addressed. And special considerations like that, to me, seem like a no-brainer. And one other thing is we haven't gotten a grant yet, but apparently once you do get a grant, the distribution of funds are kind of unpredictable. And as far as your business and your cash flow timeline, I think it's really important to try to make whoever's distributing these funds a little more consistent and make it easier on the company so they can actually, carry out their business that they got the grant for. But that's basically it for Buster Biofuels, and basically we're here to motivate innovation.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's go hand to both Tim and Buster. And we'll go to questions. The point why we sort of picked sort of differing companies and different styles was to let you guys see the diversity that's out there of small companies trying to make it work and trying to do it, and the different challenges they face. And then go ahead right there.
Yeah, two questions, both on our fuels.
Yep.
First question deals with the energy balance, energy in versus energy out. I didn't see you cover that, but
Yep.
algae.
I didn't do a science presentation.
In most of the research I've seen, it's more energy input than you get out. How are you guys addressing that energy balance?
It's actually not the case at all.
The second, let me get both questions
Yeah.
out. Second question deals with use of water. Most of your sunlight's in the south. There's not a lot of water in the south. Yet your process requires a lot of water. So what are you doing about that?
Good questions, both good questions, and the type of questions that you should be asking all of these new technologies. So first on water use, we use only high saline, non-potable water. So the waters that are used aren't usable in agriculture. In the desert Southwest in particular, in the state of New Mexico, it has one of the largest underground saltwater aquifers in the world. It has an abundant supply of salt water. They don't have an abundant supply of fresh water. One of the problems with agriculture in the desert Southwest is that the water that is in the desert out there is not usable for agriculture. So currently the water that's available in the Southwest, and many deserts contain high saline sources of water, brackish water, around the world, are used to charge oil wells, so that you can do enhanced oil recovery type things. So we don't use any more water than a traditional alfalfa crop or any other crop. All of the water use that we do use is through evaporative loss. So the process itself doesn't use water; it's just the medium in which algae grows in. So in terms of the amount of water that's lost, it's all evaporative. All water in our process is recycled throughout the entire process, and the plants themselves, the organisms, are built so that they can live in various ranges of salinity. So as water evaporates off, the increase in the salinity of the pond system itself occurs, and the plants can survive. But it doesn't mean we have to add fresh water. Is the point. So salt water is of abundance in the world, both from coastal deserts and inland deserts. So we don't face a shortage of water, in particular the salt, high saline desert salt water sources. On the energy balance question, the energy balance of this process is about, you get 3 times more energy out than you put in because of the dense hydrocarbon nature of the fuels themselves, 1. 2, the processes are very efficient because you don't have to add in various sources of hydrocarbon or fossil sources of fertilizer. The algae actually are very efficient processing. They have a very efficient processing system that converts sunlight into energy, and many of the chemicals that the algae oil produce themselves are the nitrogens that you need on a traditional crop in order to grow like corn, rice, soybean, and algae in particular. And so part of our process is to, as we extract the oil, we also extract those nutrients out and micronutrients out of the algae itself and recycle that back through the process.
So you're not adding any fertilizer?
We add very little. The only chemicals we do add to the process are to increase the pH conditions of the water. And the reason we increase the pH conditions of the water is so that we can create a carbonic acid that allows the CO2 that is pumped into the system so that it won't off-gas into the atmosphere. So we have a very efficient use of CO2 as well. So we do not add any fertilizer to the process. Chemicals are mostly focused on pH. So we want to create a condition in the pond system that doesn't exist on the planet. Why? Because we don't want predators jumping in our pond system and eating the algae, which is delicious to many organisms. And so we want to create a condition for the algae that other organisms, predators, can't survive in.
Any other questions?
Well, I hate to be the guy
That's okay.
here, but not on algae, but on the oil biofuels. Your distribution system, small company. How do you guys get? There you are. How do you guys get
Their grease.
your product distributed?
We have our oil collection.
Why don't you come up so we can keep you on the phone?
Right now, we have an oil collection side of our business implemented. So we have pumper trucks, and we go around to these clients of ours, and behind their restaurant or behind Padres Stadium, they've got bins of ours that we provide.
And no, that's how you get your raw.
That's how we get our raw.
But I mean, distributing your final product.
Same thing. We don't have it implemented yet, but we'll have a fuel delivery truck where we'll be doing direct fleet fueling. And in some cases, like Padres and Legoland, they'll have a little storage tank at the facility where we can come and directly fill it up.
And Buster, explain the cost savings in addition to the reducing the carbon footprint. Why would a company want to do that beyond their sort of sustainability efforts? What's the advantage to them?
To them, I mean, through our alliance relationship and the marketing collaboration, I mean, we're depending on where diesel is. I mean, we think we can at least provide a better price to our niche clients. I mean, in general, right now, I think that our production costs and whatnot it would be hard to do anything below $3 a gallon or something like that. But the idea is for our niche clients to keep it highly competitive with diesel, if not, many percent lower, because they're part of our whole initiative. So, I don't know if I'm answering it directly.
Well, I mean, tell a little bit about like the Legoland, the 30 power washers, how that whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, for these guys, Legoland has 30 power washers that they go out every day and do their deal, and they're just going out and buying 5-gallon jugs or whatever, going through a lot of fuel. And Padres mows their field with their their lawn mowers that are all diesel powered, and for them it's a no-brainer. I mean, essentially they're fueling themselves with their own grease by working with a company like us, and it tells a great PR and marketing story for them and their green initiatives. So that's why companies like that are so keen to come on board.
Good. Anything else? All right, well, thank you very much. You have my contact information. If you work on issues beyond energy, like we said, we've got a ton of companies in San Diego in different sectors where we can give you all different stories of startup companies and the different challenges they face. As you're doing hearings or other things like that, just feel free to email us or give us a call, and we'd be happy to work with you all. Thank you very much.